have a ton of Sith fighters. Plus, of course, the massive starbase itself. Alright. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, welcome back. This is take quite a few, I don't even know what take it is at this point, of the Starforge battle. Now, we're on stream right now, so we've been trying to record a couple of these right now. We keep running into a few things we want to improve. For example, the squadron icons we have just removed, which would just make it look a little bit better. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Starforge that I've been building over the past couple of weeks. The Starforge is a pretty big Old Republic era starbase. It was first seen in the game Knights of the Old Republic. And on stream I decided to build it last month as a reward for the massive amount of donations that have been coming in. We basically did a large poll and people wanted to see the Starforge most of all. Starforge won the poll, and okay, so I need to remember to focus fire the like massive group of Sith fighters coming in. This isn't the largest clump that there'll be. I mean, right now all these starfighters are still coming from all of the hangars of the Starforge, but eventually they'll clump up, and if you then order a battleship like the Purifier to fire into the whole heap, then it turns into quite a bit of fireworks, of course. Alright, we can of course start doing that. Let's start working on the Sith interceptors. Attack, give you an attack order there, then move you over there.
Bomber standing by.
Actually, come in a little bit closer. A little bit closer. Okay, so now it'll focus fire the Sith interdictors. Fighters are coming in. Warships coming in from behind. Should be good. Let's do this without the hunt icons. Just tell you guys to go there and engage whatever the hell you find on your way there. So yeah, the Starforge... Oh, by the way, forgive me for the slight FPS drop that's going to be happening here. There's quite a few Sith fighters on the screen right now. Once we clear out these Sith interdictors, they'll stop spawning. Oh, now that's a clump if ever I've seen one. Once that gets in range of the lower range turbo lasers of this thing, we should be able to absolutely shred these. I think they might already be in range, but for now I basically want to get rid of the interdictors first. Alright, that's already under attack by the Star Destroyer, so let's target that one instead.
Star Destroyer responding.
Overcharge. Alright, let's see how much damage we can do to this clump right after that interdictor goes down. Again, it's a bit choppy at the start because of all these interdictors spitting out these Sith fighters, but those will go down fairly quickly. Sith fighters are really, really shitty. Now, we first have to destroy the fleet. I mean, going for the Starforge right away is not an option. You need to destroy the fleet first. Now, the Starforge has a standard garrison of 40 Sith fighters and about 60 or so... No, 40 Sith fighters and 4 interdictors. So you're always going to get a ton of Sith fighters. But since the Starforge does start out with quite a...
Interceptor squad reporting.
Yeah. Go there. Since the Starforge does actually start out with quite a fleet, there's going to be a lot more on the screen at the very beginning, so. Bunch more coming in. Now, I had actually already made a video about this battle yesterday. It was about a 50-minute video. I was blasting some metal music through it. It was actually quite an epic video. We had quite a few cinematic angles in that one. But sadly, YouTube decided to block it because it does not like people using music. Now, this is not that big a club, so we can't really hit that much here. So I guess let's just keep targeting these guys for now. You can target you. That one's getting absolutely shredded already. Now, the Purifier does have a whole bunch of these low-range turbo lasers, which means that it can basically engage a ton of targets at the same time.
TIE defender standing by.
Weapons online.
Legion's, of course, a wonderful, wonderful battleship. Very good at ship versus ship combat. It can tear through quite a bunch of these Sith interdictors. Worth remembering, though, that Sith interdictors fire a lot of projectiles. They may be fairly inaccurate, but that does mean that larger targets, such as, for example, the Purifier, are hit fairly easily.
Yes, Commander.
Now, we've already lost shields on pretty much all of our ships except for the Allegiance. It's unfortunate. I do believe that the Starforge was currently firing at the Purifier. Yeah, let's see if we can select that.
Fired up.
Fired up indeed. On this thing to start moving towards the Starforge so that we can start bombing it once the majority of the fleet is down. There's a lot more Sith fighters coming in here. This must be the Garrison. Which means there's no real point in attacking these. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Sith fighters here. That one's getting destroyed.
Orders, sir.
Now, there's quite a battle going on here. I mean, our starfighters are trying really, really hard to destroy these Sith fighters. In the battle we did yesterday, I saw that units like TIE Defenders and TIE Interceptors, of course, are quite effective against the Sith fighters because, you know, they're made of papier-mâché. But because the Starforge just keep spitting them out, they are eventually whittled away. Very, very slowly. So there's just this unending wave of Sith fighters that you can destroy easily, but they just keep on coming. They keep dealing damage to your starfighters, they keep dealing damage to the ships that you bring in. And while it may not be a lot, it does whittle you away quite nicely. Yesterday I lost the Purifier, the Allegiance, and a couple of Imperial Star Destroyers before I actually managed to get rid of the Starforge itself. And that is a graphical issue that I will have to deal with sometime. That's fairly annoying. That's okay though. Let's see, is there an issue on the other side as well? Ah, yes there is. That's actually a fairly big issue now that I look at it. Like, ew. Didn't notice that yesterday, but that's why it's good to test these battles. Now, there's a lot of shit going on here. And there's also a lot of shit dying, as you can see. Which means that the chop should clear up relatively soon. The starfighters are what is causing most of the lag here, so destroying them is very good, of course. Now, because I disabled the squadron icons, I can't actually... Okay, so now the turbo lasers on the Starforge are really starting to damage our ship. I don't think they're attacking the Imperial Star Destroyer, which is good. But they are... Yeah, as you can see, all the turbo lasers are heading towards the Purifier, so... Luckily, the Purifier does have quite a bit of HP, so it can take it for a while.
Taking them out.
Give us a task. There are ours for the taking.
Should start clearing these up. Turbo lasers, of course, very, very inaccurate versus starfighters, but when there's this many of them, then you basically can't miss. For example, look at that club.
This will be
Like, if we just fire in the middle of that, we're bound to hit some of them. Let me see if I can get some...
Ready for orders.
those are bombers. What are bombers doing here? How about we
Bombers at
tell the bombers to attack the Starforge? Alright, so this guy's in position to just start bombing. This is good.
targeting at maximum firepower.
Okay. Now, there's a slight bit of an issue in that the Starforge has a lot of shield points. As in, it took me 20 minutes to take down the shields in the first battle yesterday. That is because it has 200,000 shield points, which is twice as many as the strongest Superstar Destroyer shields. Ah, look. Now, that is what I'm talking about. With all that crossfire, they will eventually get obliterated. Very nice, very nice. Apparently these turrets aren't firing, that's a problem. They should be in range of the forge. Oh yeah, they are in range, okay. Now, the great thing is that even if they miss this interdictor, they will still hit all of this. So... Alright, we're starting working on the shields. Occasionally it shows an explosion particle, but that is actually a bug in the Steam version of the game. As long as that you still see shield particles, or shield hit particles, it only detonates on the shields. Now I'd love to show you the health bar on the Starforge, but the stage is actually that big that the health bar either doesn't exist or it's off the map. Like somewhere there. Maybe like there. And you can't actually see it, so... That's unfortunate. But yeah, on the function of the Starforge, it's basically a massive factory. As I said, it grants you a massive production boost. I'm not sure if I've told it in this take already, but the Starforge grants you a 50% cost reduction on anything you produce. At the Starforge system, Rakata Prime that is, of course. Yeah, 50% cost reduction. There is a 99% build time reduction on starfighters and bombers. Now that one's getting shredded. Yeah, a 95% build time reduction on frigates and corvettes, and a 60% build time reduction on capital ships. Reason that capital ships are not being increased by that much is because I basically want this thing to... In the lore, of course, this thing produced only Sith fighters for the Sith Empire. And I wanted this thing to be mostly used for frigate production. And of course starfighters. So that's why frigates and corvettes have such a tremendous bonus, while... see, now this clears up starfighters really nicely. So that's the reason why this thing gives such a massive production boost to frigates and corvettes, and not necessarily to capital ships. I mean, 60% build time reduction is still tremendous. But you can basically spit out starfighters as fast as you can click them. Same with frigates, really. And that's what I want this thing to be. A massive production boost to smaller ships. Get people to use smaller ships. And smaller ships in the mod are very cost effective, but for some people... it doesn't seem like that, and they mostly prefer to use capital ships.
Star Destroyer at station keeping.
This thing really needs to get in there.
He won't be around.
I mean, we can probably already hit them. I mean, let's try.
This will be pleasurable.
Maybe the long-range cannons can hit them. Let's see.
Critical.
Yes, they can. Okay,
Holding for maximum firepower.
let's increase that.
Targeting at
Firing at Starforge. Let's see, can the rear cannons hit? They should be able to. Let's see, if I attack... If I tell you to attack that, will you hit? Yeah, they are actually attacking that. That's good. They're not actually rotating towards what they're supposed to be firing at. That's a little weird. What are they firing at? Doesn't much matter, since of course the shields are still up. But this is doing a tremendous amount of damage, so it is very slowly clearing them out. Now the Allegiance, of course, is a very, very heavy battleship, so it's really going to do a lot of damage here. If it's not firing at these damn Sith fighters. This was a lot more epic when we had metal blasting in the background, but again, YouTube decided to block the video worldwide in I think all countries except Germany, Austria and Switzerland for some reason. Those countries can still watch the first video. And there comes another missile barrage. I think that's going to hit. You can dodge them if you're fast enough to move out of the way. I actually think they were targeting the ISD before it went down. A lot of it hit us though. It does do splash damage, so... I'm not sure if it even registered. I mean, it registered the hits. I'm not sure to which hardpoint, but it registered the hit, that's for sure. Okay, must be this side. You do need quite a... Alright, well that's not gonna fly, sorry. You step to the Allegiance, you better bring a lot of firepower.
My scopes are jammed.
3 Sith Interdictors is not gonna cut it. Let's see, was the overcharge already? No, it was still off cooldown.
Give us a task.
Now these things do have missile shields. They're not using them, but they have missile shields. I'm not sure what this thing is doing. Are we through the... No, shields are still up. But yeah, the idea is that you start working on one side. Of course, the missiles of the Allegiance will be able to go through the shields, but good luck doing this with just missile cruisers. Artillery is a way to do this. I wouldn't suggest it. At least not just artillery. Maybe bring a couple of broadsides for the Sith fighters. No, can you not move there? Oh. This thing's really having a hard time pathfinding. Fine, just move in. Oh, right. Wait, the Allegiance is in front? That means it's attacking the Allegiance. It's like in the way, and so this thing can't pathfind its way over there. That's annoying. I think we lost a Star Destroyer. Our battleships really can't spend all this time firing at interdictors. I mean, these interdictors will just keep on coming and they don't stop coming. Something hit the ground running. So we really should be attacking the forge.
Moving to coordinates.
Going to move that in there. Let's see. How about you guys just set to hunt, I guess. Oh look, most of this ball is actually ours. Actually, I think this ball is ours.
Your command, sir.
Now you just fire at whatever the hell you like. I mean, it's not really gonna matter. I mean, you can hit the armor, you can hit the shipyards. It really does not matter what you hit. The shields will be impacted. Now we are very close to this missile launcher. If this missile launcher decides to switch targets to this, it's gonna very rapidly be able to hit these things.
Commencing attack run.
He's right there. Get him. I must not have a firing solution. Oh, come on. Get him. They're not doing it. I mean, quite a bunch of stuff is dying. You can still see the explosions, but... Now, I do know that the TIE Defenders usually have a lot more luck with... So, if this is our massive ball of death, we should probably move it over to the... Starforge. Okay, enable overcharging the ion cannons. Let's see, where's a bomber? There.
Ready to receive orders.
Alright. Let's target these.
Comlink active.
They keep clearing out the bombers before they actually get to the Starforge. Alright. We must be getting through the shield somehow. We're way over half down. That's for sure. And now that we actually get our battleships to fire at the thing.
Now ours for the
Engaging the enemy.
Oh yeah, and here come the defenders too. I don't think I actually showed off the Starforge yet. The Starforge has large hangars. It has dry docks. It's got a lot of detail in the superstructure itself. Now I do believe these guys are going on a journey. The journey of a lifetime. They basically try to pass the Starforge and then come back in, which of course is complete nonsense because they have to move towards the other side and then come back. So it's best to just let them target something else. That's a little bit of... Oh, look at what I found. Sith fighters.
Target in sight.
Now, where are you guys going?
Ready to receive orders.
You guys actually coming in, or? I have no idea where these guys are.
Comlink active.
No.
Bomber targeting.
Where are these guys?
We're being targeted.
Roger that.
Where the f...
Squadron moving out.
Do these guys... Are they skimming across the surface on top of that thing? These are Sith fighters. Let's see, where are they? Are those... No way. They're up there. The madman.
Engines are malfunctioning.
Alright, well... Get back over here.
Blasted scum.
You crazy son. Oh, I think we're through the shields. I think we're through the... Are we? God damn it. Get out of the way. I'm not sure. I can't tell if those are missiles, torpedoes, or what.
For attack position. Attack.
Alright, so let's get these TIE defenders back into the fray. They're coming back down now.
Squad, move in. Under control. My scopes are jammed.
Can't see what they're doing. I'm sure if they're trying to dogfight or what. Okay, I think we're through the shields now. Yes, we finally are. Alright. Now, we did lose quite a bit of health on our purifier already. I do think that it is going down once more. Yesterday, I did a much better job of actually clearing the starfighters. But of course, without the squadron icons on, that becomes very difficult. You can't really spot these very juicy clumps very well. Now, that one is easy. I mean, those are just 3 squadrons or something. Like yesterday, we had these massive clumps of like 8 squadrons at the same time, and then you just fire in them and everything explodes. It was glorious. Again, if you want to watch that battle under the pleasure of a whole bunch of metal music, use a YouTube unblocker and go find that. It's definitely worth it.
I can't switch position. Gun them down.
Fired up.
Let's see.
Combat systems engaged.
I think it might actually be best to leave the Sith interdictors alive, because every time we kill them, they come back and they spawn more of those Sith interdictors or starfighters. Let's see, can we get one? Just no, too far away.
My scopes
I
are
copy.
jammed.
The lasers are our target.
We're dealing a lot of damage right now. All of these hardpoints in total have about, I think it is about 400,000 HP. What are the missiles targeting right now? I think it's the Star Destroyer.
The shields aren't holding.
Where are the others?
I've got him.
A little bit ago, I had a ooh, that's a render bug. This, by the way, is a bit of a rendering issue. The Starforge is so large that in order for it to appear properly, it needs to have the isBackground tag enabled in the code, which basically tells the game to render it behind every other object except for the star background. Which means that if you actually look at this side, you can still see all the ships in front of it. Now that is actually the edge of the map, so you can't move ships further than that, so it's not at all useful to actually do that. Alright, I didn't actually put the garrison of the Sith Indictors in here.
We have them in our sights.
Alright,
Shields almost.
I think we finally got through most of these squadrons. Well, that was that super heavy turbo laser.
Cover me now.
Why is that one not firing forward?
Watch for enemy ships.
That is weird. Maybe it just really wants to fire at that thing. We're slowly losing our allegiance. Yesterday I had a very nice situation where I had an allegiance in position to just kind of keep on moving and broadside the entire starbase while I had the overcharge active. So it was just driving by all of these hardpoints and firing the main batteries at them very quickly. Now it didn't actually, mind you, destroy them because these hardpoints have a lot of HP. But it did quite a decent amount of damage. Gotta imagine nearly killing that thing and then losing. Just a waste of an hour and tons of shit. Yeah, you really do need to bring your A game. And when I say bring your A game, I mean bring artillery, bring battleships, bring damage, bring basically anything you can think of. Because this thing is... it's quite a fight. Of course, once you defeat it and then rebuild it, then you do have like one of the most OP... actually, that is pretty much probably the most OP production facility ever coded in this game. But you do have to then actually defeat it. And I'm not sure if this was here yesterday, because I really think this bug here is a recent addition. I didn't see this anywhere in the battle yesterday. And this was... and I did play that for like 50 fucking minutes. And I would have noticed. Like, I look at this detail closely and then noticing something like that. That's not very difficult to spot. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll have to re-export the whole thing again. That's okay though. Also, Cityscape is basically a couple of layers of lights. Of course, they're set out very far from the faces on which they were originally placed, so that there is no flickering from like this far away. Always prevent flickering. Couple of blinking lights over at these. I had actually planned to put shield generators on these spires until I realized that these starfighters would have to move tens of kilometers to actually make that bombing run, so... Alright, we're really taking a lot of damage here. Let's see, how is this side? Almost dead. I think if we bring in an ISD, we will be able to finish this side here, and then we can move on to... oh, come on. Thank you. And then we will be able to move alongside the rest of the superstructure to the other side. The other side's going to be a bit tricky, but... especially since our large warship has taken significant damage. But we are slowly destroying the weapon, so the damage of the Starforge is slowly going down. Alright, overcharge and go nuts. What was that firing at? Still hit though, of course. That's a great thing, you can't really miss this thing no matter what weapon you use, like diamond boron missiles, flak cannons, they're gonna hit anyway. Oh, by the way, flak cannons, very useful for getting rid of these Sith fighters. Of course, if they clump up like this, then it's just glorious. How's our starfighters doing? Fairly well. Let's set them to hunt.
Ready for battle.
Get the bombers to attack the Starforge.
Target the lasers.
Of course, they will just die to the Starforge's defenses. It is only equipped with turbo lasers, so... they don't fire all that quickly. Let's see. So here's a cluster of 3 hangar base and Yeah, see, the turbo lasers don't fire that quickly. And they have a reload time of about, I think it is 5 to 10 seconds. But they do have 90 turbo laser hardpoints and about 90 hangers as well, so... The idea is that it simply does a little bit of passive damage all the time. Except, of course, when you destroy the weapons. And then as you slowly chew your way through the starbase and the shipyards, of course, it will start... Its power level will start to go down. So it's a very doable battle. You just need to make sure that you bring a, you know, fleet capable of actually defeating it.
Ours for the taking.
I'll take care of this. We're being
I thought I got rid of that engine flicker a while back. Maybe not on the Allegiance. I think I did get rid of it on the Allegiance. Why the hell is it still doing it? Oh, you really gotta be from this far away before it actually starts. Okay. That's still annoying. Now we are slowly losing our legions. This is a little problematic. I mean, it's just constantly getting attacked by these Sith fighters. Now, they don't do a lot of damage against Star Destroyer armor, obviously. But when there's just relentless wave after wave, then... Yeah, that does stack up. Of course, these missiles and the fucking... Sith interdictors aren't helping.
Blasted scum.
Yeah, we are going to lose our ship here.
Closing on target.
That's some horrendous flickering on the engines. Ugh. Alright.
Awaiting order.
Alright, we're almost at the end of this side. This is good. Let's follow some fighters around, see what they're doing. The soundtrack you are hearing right now, that must have been the Allegiance. At least I hope that was the Allegiance and not the Purifier. Now the Purifier is fine. Okay. The soundtrack you are listening to right now is the soundtrack of the Knights of the Old Republic game, in which the Starforge was, of course, first seen. I do enjoy that I made the cockpits of the TIE fighters transparent. That does look kind of nice. It's an interesting little detail that I enjoy quite a bit. Isn't always all that visible, but when it is, it's good. I must say this is a lot less climactic than when we were playing the metal music, but again, I'd rather have a video showing it off than not have a video showing it off. So again, if you want to see the better version of this, go grab a YouTube unblocker somewhere and then go to my channel and you will see the video.
Roger that.
It is worth watching.
Form up.
Awaiting your orders.
Alright, now when we actually lose the Purifier, we can deploy a whole bunch of ISDs.
Order confirmed.
Now, see, that turning radius is just not so good.
Holding
Okay.
maximum firepower.
Barrage them. I'm not sure what it's actually hitting right now. I think it's attacking starfighters. Oh yeah. Now, of course, starfighters do spawn pretty much... Oh wait, we can already bring in a whole bunch of Star Destroyers. All right. Yeah, let's keep bombing the station as best as we can. We will start over here, and then we will slowly move to the other side
We're moving out.
with this battle group, and then these guys can slowly move along this edge. I think the Purifier has lost most of its long-range weapons. Now, these small turbo laser, these small low-range turbo laser banks are not actually targetable, so it cannot lose them.
Awaiting your command.
So they will keep firing, but at this point they're mostly just flak. And of course it does have its hangers. I don't know, does it still have its hangers? I think it does. I think I made them untargetable. Yeah, we just saw a couple of TIEs spawning out from them. This is good.
He's coming around.
Hangars are still operational. It will keep spawning TIEs for a good while. What's his Garrison? 100 TIE interceptor squadrons, 50 TIE bomber squadrons, and 20 TIE defender squadrons. So that's very decent. You will notice me occasionally selecting all the starfighters with Control A and then pressing Hunt. The fact that you're seeing less and less of these Hunt icons just means how many of our starfighters the Starforge's Garrison are actually able to obliterate. Like, we just keep losing our garrisons over and over. Alright, how are you guys doing?
Commander.
Okay, so we're slowly chewing through the hard points, of course.
Attack.
Pursuing
Commence.
enemy forces.
Attack. Roger that.
Let's see, are all of our weapons in range? I don't think our dual turbo lasers can fire. That's
Full speed.
that's unfortunate.
The lasers are our target.
Let's start moving forward so that we can hit.
Move out. Form up.
See, now these can fire dual turbo lasers. Of course, the dual turbo lasers on the Star Destroyers are a lot lower range than the rest of the weapons. The octuple turbo lasers, of course, being very high range. That's why the Star Destroyer is often content to just sit back and bomb from long range.
My scopes are jammed.
Which is, of course, excellent when attacking the Starforge, but they also... Ooh, render limit. That was the render limit of the game. If you go too far away from the... whatever you're seeing, then the game stops rendering it, which in this case was the star background. The Eclipse needs to shoot at least 6 times. Let's see. The Eclipse takes about 3 shots to obliterate a Executor class. This thing has, I think, either twice or 3 times as much HP as the Executor. So, you'd be right. It needs to shoot at least 6 times. Now, the Death Star, of course, insta-kills it. So, if you really want to get rid of the battle quickly, then you can bring the Death Star. Of course, that will cost you 2 million credits. At which point you will have,
Waiting orders.
of course, not as many credits as you would have to rebuild the Starforge. But you can cheese the battle by one-shotting this thing with the Death Star, of course. Of course, it wouldn't explode. Remember, you're not actually out here to destroy the Starforge. You're here to disable the shipyards so that you can board it, and then on the Galactic Conquest map. And I think we just gotta follow. Death Guard Civ has followed. Thank you very much for the follow, good sir. Hope you enjoy yourself here. Hope you enjoy your time on the stream. Yes, but as I was saying, you're here to... Okay, so this guy is making a speedy push into this side of the station. You are here to disable the shipyard so that you can board it in the Galactic Conquest mode and then repair the shipyards. And then it is yours to do with as you please. And from there on out you can... let's see if we can make that turning radius a little smaller. That should be good. Move over here. And then just broadside the station with the octuple cannons. Overcharge is nearly back. This guy needs to keep moving. I'm not sure why the Sith interdictors are pulling back from the purifier. Also not sure why it stopped moving. Maybe it's finally taking so much damage that its engine power is failing. It's got to put some more stuff into the engines. We need to get these low-range weapons, the weapon banks, onto these hardpoints. Because if they're not firing, then obviously we have a problem. I mean, this thing can shoot down Sith fighters until the end of days, but... That's to get rid of these hunt icons. Oh. Control A. Select all of these guys. And we'll just attack, move over here. Oh yeah, now this is what we like to see. Ooh, look at that. Now that is some firepower. And that's not even all the weapon banks firing. I think most of them are still firing at Sith fighters. And there is a lot to fire at, of course. But with the broadside of this ISD combined with the weapons of the Purifier, I think we'll be able to strafe this section. I'm not sure if it's gonna be particularly fast, but It'll get the job done.
Awaiting your
Are you still in a decent position to move? Yes?
awaiting your
Okay, this must be nearly done.
Taking him out.
your command, sir.
Losing control.
And when you eventually destroy the rest of the Starforge's defenses, of course, you can simply auto-resolve. So you do not have to sit here and destroy every single Sith fighter. See, I knew the Purifier would be useful for this. Like, it might have fucking taken a while to get it into position, to get the shields down, and the Sith fighters down to a number where we can actually do this, but... Oh yeah. So many turbo lasers. It's good that we're in this close range, because if we weren't, this would probably not work.
Cover me now. Unable to shake them.
Again, this thing's strafing distance is not the best. The only reason it has all these super low range turbo lasers is because they are low range in the first place. So you couldn't do this normally. But if you get close enough, oh, you can.
Regroup. I'm hit. Taking fire.
Commander,
Please keep moving, keep moving, keep
let's
moving.
go.
We're being targeted. I've been hit. Engines are malfunctioning. Squad, move in. My scopes are jammed. Where are the others?
No, Sense Knight. You're right. There are no fires when a hardpoint is destroyed, because we would be stuck with like 200 fire particles that would last the entire game. And I figured, let's not put the game through that. I mean, we're already having all these Sith fighters and a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, it would be nice, a bit of graphic stuff to have like massive fires coming from the Starforge. But I figured, you know what? Maybe better not to. Maybe better not to. Right, we already lost all the octuple turbo lasers here. I mean, they may not do that much damage, but given the duration of the battle, the Starforge's weapons are not negligible.
Former. Keep going.
They will,
This way.
oh yeah, that thing is just... I mean, this thing is just now getting barraged, but... I mean, these things do hurt. Sith Interdictors fire a lot of weapons. Again, they are very inaccurate. Let's see, can we center on this? No, because they're not our units.
Watch for enemy ships.
Yeah, they are very inaccurate, but... Again, when the target is large enough, they will still hit. I'm not sure what they're trying to hit right now. They're not doing a great job of hitting whatever they are trying to hit. I think they're actually firing at... Ah, yes, they're firing at starfighters.
Destroyer here.
That's of course not what you want to do with these. You want to have these destroy the...
Fire at will.
I think we can at this point focus fire the hangars.
Copy. Attacking. Targeting. Combat.
Is this still alive? Wow. We may actually even be able to save this. I mean, that absolutely did... I lost this halfway through the first battle. It's still alive now. Not sure what it's attacking right now. Alright. Now remember that when it actually hits all of this, even though it's not hitting the actual starfighters, it is hitting the Starforge, and it will passively start damaging these. At least it should. Or at least some of these. So all of this fire isn't wasted, which is always nice. I also think I need to edit something in these fire particles to prevent this from happening. Like, either make the trails shorter and increase the particle per second count so that you don't see these holes. Don't like to see these holes. I mean, it looks fairly aight from an angle, but... Was that my ISD? Yeah. How many do we have left? Oh, this is going much better than last time. Last time, what I did, and this wasn't smart, I started here and I basically moved all my ships directly down the middle. Right into the jaws of death. As it turns out, that did not go too hot. And I lost the purifier halfway through the battle. Starting on one side and then moving your way to the other one is definitely the way to go. Alright, all of these hardpoints are down. I think we almost got this, guys. Now, I'm afraid we're not going to have some awesome metal music in this video, but we will have a very cost-effective victory if we don't lose the purifier, which I don't think we will. I mean, unless the Sith fighters really start stepping up their game, and I don't think they are.
Star Destroyer standing by.
Imagine trying to do this with ISD 1s Imagine trying to do this with ISD 1s instead of 2s. You just get fucked. Like, you really need the octuple long-range turbo lasers for this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we fucking got it. Last hardpoints. Alright. Large hangar. All the starfighters are coming from here now.
I'll take care of this.
And I think that was it. Did we get it? Yup, we got the whole damn thing. Now, it still shows up when you hover over it, right? Because it doesn't delete the object. Of course not, because you don't destroy the Starforge. You're not here to destroy it, you're here to capture it. Destroy the shipyards, board it, and then take control of it. Which is what we've done now. Now we just need to mop up the rest. Now, as I said, you don't actually need to be worried about having to mop up all these Sith fighters. I actually think these... Yeah, these interdicts are actually inside the station. That's annoying. Again, because of the rendering method, you can't actually see that. They don't disappear. You can still see them in front. It's a little annoying, but you know, it's just a little bit of rendering. You can also go inside the Starforge, of course, see the whole thing from the inside. Not that that really adds anything, but you know, if you do it on the pylons, you actually get to see the texture of the lights and the Starforge texture itself. Of course, along with the hangar bays and dry docks, all that stuff. Oh no, okay, well, slightly less cost-effective victory, but we still did it, so I'm happy with that. Now, I think it's time to deploy these last Star Destroyers, just to make the auto-resolve a bit better, and to then auto-resolve the rest. Alright. They in? That one's in. That one's in. Alright, let's do it.
We are victorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Starforge battle. It may not have been as epic as the one where we had all the metal music blasting. Again, if you want to see that video, find a proxy or YouTube unblocker or something. And then watch that video on the channel. For now, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.